If he lived, Nasreddin Hoca was a dervish and not a normal person. What is normal? According to Lowenthal, the category of normality destroys individual authenticity. It rejects emotional outbursts and gives terrible marks to people who don't fit in and are unpredictable. It uniformizes people by completely excluding creative and passionate behavior. According to Deleuze, the category of normality is violence directed against the individual. Nasreddin Hoca was not a normal person. Although there is no definitive information on whether Nasreddin Hoca lived or not, and if he did, what his real personality was, some documents indicate that he was an actual historical figure. This video is based on the information of ethnographers who claim that he lived. According to these documents, Nasreddin Hoca, born in 1208 in the village of Hortu in Akşehir, became an imam after receiving madrasa education on Mevlevism, Yesevism, and Rufailism. After a while, Nasreddin Hoca migrated to Akşehir, one of the centers of Sufi thought of the period, and became a dervish of Mahmudi Hayrani. It is believed that he was in the regions around Akşehir for a short time. Nasreddin Hoca died in Akşehir in 1284 and was buried in the present Nasreddin Hoca tomb. Mahmudi Hayrani was a Sufi dervish known to have lived in the 1260s. He was the teacher of Nasreddin Hoca along with Sarı Saltuk. It is known that he was a Mevlevi and was connected to the Khorasan dervish culture. This culture, which was influenced by various branches of Anatolian Alevism, is the culture in which Nasreddin Hoca was also involved. At that time, Sufi culture was dominant in and around Akşehir. The vacuum of political authority created an environment where many religious paths could be freely discussed. The Anatolian Selçuk state was in turmoil, and that is why the peoples are at ease. State authority cannot be established over them. The Islamic to which Nasreddin Hoca belonged are not remotely related to today's political Islam. The sects used by political Islam as a form of exploitation have nothing to do with Nasreddin Hoca's understanding of Islam. Mevlevism, which considers the universe as a manifestation of God, adopts the principle of unity of being, Vahdet-i Vücud, sees man as the essence of the universe, and aims to reach God through musical and rhythmic ceremonies, was formed under the leadership of the ideas of Sultan Veled, the son of Mevlana Rumi. These views were the dominant understanding of religion in the environment in which the teacher grew up, and was much more egalitarian and libertarian than the cult structures determined by capitalist relations. Talents such as humor, sharp wit, and satire must develop, as well as a mindset that goes beyond the general paradigms of society. When Nasreddin Hoca lived, orthodox understandings of Islam didn't dominate Anatolia. In Anatolia, there was a multiculturalism and intellectual diversity, a mixture of various beliefs. This democratic environment formed within its anthropology can also be explained by the absence of the technology necessary for the centralized state to establish sovereignty. The Yesevism sect, which Nasreddin Hoca was influenced by and associated with at some point in his life, is a Turkish sect associated with the nomadic Turkmen of central Anatolia and linked to Alevism. Yesevism, related to Khorasan Melamism, embodies today's secular understanding and takes an egalitarian stance between the sexes. The intellectual platforms to which Nasreddin Hoca belonged have nothing to do with the political Islam in various states today. It's related to the Quran, but not a despotic political culture. The despotic political Islamic culture that claims to be referenced by the Quran is more associated with fascism than with the Quran. The Quran can be interpreted in many different ways throughout history. The sects from which personalities such as Nasreddin Hoca developed had ways of processing and interpreting the Quran freely. These sects have nothing to do with today's capitalist and state-affiliated sects that opiate the brain. The multi-religious culture of Anatolia influences these interpretations. Interreligious interaction is as natural and anthropological a process as interaction between peoples. The fact that they coincided with a period in which the Anatolian Seljuk state had many complex problems also brought about the existence of these sects free from the state. The moments that Nasreddin Hoca was influenced by rebelled against the despotic structure of the Ottoman Empire, especially after the Seljuks, they took the side of the people against the sects that the Ottoman Empire supported and used for administrative purposes. Another school where there are documents about Nasreddin Hoca is education during his lifetime is Rufai. Rufai is one of the first sects of Sufism. One of Rufai's most prominent principles is to avoid accumulation. They say that capital accumulation contradicts the Quran, and there are dozens of verses about this in Quran. For example, zakat is not 1/40 as many Muslims believe. There is no such thing as 40/5 in Quran. The Quran emphasizes the word infaq. So many sects are against wealth accumulation and capitalism. However, the state cannot get along with these sects because, as anti-capitalist literature has shown various books, the state is the apparatus of the capitalists. The common of characteristics of the sects in which Nasreddin Hoca is presumed to have been involved, and the topics they addressed are as follows. Going deeper into the verses of the Quran. Having as few possessions as possible. Belief in the oneness of God and lack of shirk. Love. Avoiding fame. Considering the above points, it can be understood that three sects that Nasreddin Hoca was influenced by had nothing to do with the portrait of religion drawn by today's political Islam and the political Islam seen in various countries. This is precisely why he was able to develop humor and satire. Otherwise, Nasreddin Hoca would not even be able to pass by humor. Humor is the work of criticism and doubt. Dogma and idealizing religion slaughter humor. Nasreddin Hoca is often portrayed as a witty scholar, a smiling, mature dervish, a scholar who is critical of wealth, status, and the conservatism that society generally accepts, which is precisely what he is if such a person ever lived and is not a legend. The harmony of character, which we told with Nasreddin Hoca, can be seen when we think about the following joke in one of the works in the library of Ankara University Faculty of Language and History Geography. Nasreddin Hoca travels with a man. When they meet a Sipahi, a horse soldier who owns the property, the Sipahi sternly orders Hoca's traveling companion to take him to a distant village. The man, showing his intelligence, says, "I am the servant of a rich gentleman," and escapes from the order. The Sipahi then turns to Hoca, who in typical fashion tries to evade the order by saying, "I am also a servant of Allah," but in vain. He reluctantly joins the Sipahi, but he cannot help but speak to Allah. "Oh God, look at the condition of a man who is the servant of a rich man, and look at the condition of your servant." He cannot help reproaching God. Suddenly there is a flash of lightning, Hoca looks back, and the horse is on top of the Sipahi. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video and dwell into the world of Nasreddin Hoca with me. I have shared my interpretations, but I'm eager to hear yours. Please feel free to share your thoughts and insights in the comments section. And if you are new here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I look forward to continuing our exploration of other subjects. Goodbye for now.